Your Honor, I don't think you understand who I am. One phone call and this all goes away. Those words hang in the air of Providence, Municipal Court. The woman who spoke them stands at the defense table. Her name is Victoria Eastland. She's 29 years old. Her blonde hair is pulled back in a perfect bun. She wears a cream-colored Chanel suit. The buttons are real pearls. Her Cartier bracelet catches the light every time she moves her wrist. Diamond earrings sparkle. Her Hermes bag sits on the table next to her. It costs more than some people make in 6 months. But it's not her clothes that make people stare. It's the way she holds herself. Her chin is up. Her eyes look down at everyone, like she's standing on a mountain, and everyone else is in the valley below. Judge Frank Caprio sits at the bench. He's 78 years old. He's been a judge for decades. He's seen everything, but his eyebrows lift just slightly at Victoria's words. Mrs. Eastland, he says. His voice is calm. Please explain what you mean by that. Victoria pulls out her phone. It's the newest iPhone. The case is rose gold with her initials in diamonds. I mean exactly what I said, Your Honor. She emphasizes the words, Your Honor, like they're a joke. My husband is Governor Richard Eastland. One call to him, and we can all forget this little misunderstanding. The courtroom is packed today. Every seat is full. People came because they heard rumors. Rumors about a governor's wife fighting a parking ticket. No, not a parking ticket. Much worse. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. Because what Judge Caprio is about to do will restore your faith in the system. The bailiff had called the case 10 minutes earlier. Case 2025, TR 94562. The State versus Victoria and Eastland. Before Victoria walked in, there was another woman at the front of the courtroom. Her name is Rosa Martinez. She's 41 years old. She wears blue scrubs. The kind nurses wear. There are stains on them. Coffee maybe. Or medicine. Her shoes are white sneakers. They're worn down. The kind you get when you're on your feet for 12 hours straight. Rosa's hands shake as she holds folder. Inside are papers. Medical bills. 3 jobs worth of pay stubs. A letter from her landlord about late rent. Your Honor, Rosa had said. Her voice was quiet. I work at St. Mary's Hospital. I'm a nurse in the emergency room. I got these parking tickets because I was parked in a spot I shouldn't have been. But it was 3 in the morning. My shift started at midnight. The parking garage was full. I had to park on the street. I didn't see the sign. I'm not making excuses. I just want to explain. I have 3 kids at home. My husband died 2 years ago. Cancer. The bills from that are still coming. These tickets are $450 total. I brought $200 today. It's all I have right now. I can pay the rest in 2 months when I get my tax refund. Judge Caprio had looked at her papers. His face was soft, kind. Mrs. Martinez, I see you have 3 tickets here. All from the same week. All from the same street outside the hospital. Yes, Your Honor. I tried to get there early to find parking. But every night that week we had emergencies. Car accidents. Heart attacks. I couldn't leave patients dying to move my car. The judge had nodded. He understood. Mrs. Martinez, I'm going to dismiss these tickets. All of them. Rosa's eyes went wide. Your Honor, you serve this community. You save lives. The least we can do is not punish you for parking while you do it. Case dismissed. Tears ran down Rosa's face. Thank you. Thank you so much. Go home to your children, Mrs. Martinez. Rosa had gathered her papers. She was walking toward the door when it swung open. Hard. The door slammed against the wall. Everyone jumped. Victoria Eastland walked in. She didn't look at Rosa. Not even a glance. She walked right past her like Rosa was invisible. Rosa pressed herself against the wall to let Victoria pass. Victoria's heels clicked on the floor. Loud. Each step sounded like a demand. Pay attention. Look at me. I'm important. She reached the defense table and tossed her bag onto it. The sound echoed. She didn't sit down. She stood there, checking her phone. Her lawyer walked in behind her. His name is Gerald Prescott. He's 60 years old. Gray hair. Expensive suit. He looks tired. Like he didn't want to be here. All rise, the bailiff said. Everyone stood. Except Victoria. She was still looking at her phone. Mrs. Eastland, the bailiff said. Please stand. Victoria sighed. She rolled her eyes. Then she stood. Slowly. Like it was the hardest thing she'd ever done. Judge Caprio entered. He sat. Please be seated. Everyone sat. Victoria crossed her legs. Her foot bounced. Impatient. Case 2025, TR 94562, the bailiff said. The state versus Victoria and Eastland. Charges include reckless driving, leaving the scene of an accident, and failure to render aid. The room got quiet. These weren't parking tickets. These were serious charges. Judge Caprio looked at the file. Then at Victoria. Mrs. Eastland, you're charged with some very serious offenses here. Do you understand the charges? Victoria waved her hand. Your Honor, this is all a huge misunderstanding. I barely tapped the other car. The woman is fine. She's exaggerating. The woman, Judge Caprio said slowly, suffered a broken arm and a concussion. She spent 2 nights in the hospital. Victoria shrugged. One shoulder. Casual. Well, maybe she had a pre-existing condition. I mean, my car has a tiny scratch. Tiny. How could she get hurt that badly? People in the courtroom shift in their seats. Did she really just say that? Judge Caprio's jaw tightens. Just slightly. Mrs. Eastland, let's go through what happened. According to the police report, on January 15th at approximately 2 p.m., you were driving on Benefit Street. You were on your phone. You ran a red light at the intersection of Benefit and Waterman. You struck a vehicle driven by 53-year-old Janet Cooper. She's a teacher at Hope High School. After the impact, witnesses say you got out of your car, looked at the damage, got back in, and drove away. Is that accurate? That's not how I remember it, Victoria says. She examines her nails. They're perfectly manicured. French tips. I was on my way to a charity luncheon. I was running late. The light was yellow when I went through it. The other driver probably should have looked before she went. And I didn't drive away. I pulled over to the side of the road to check my car. You pulled over, Judge Caprio repeats. For how long? I don't know. A minute? 2 minutes. And then you left. I had somewhere to be. You had somewhere to be, the judge says. His voice is flat. Mrs. Eastland, there were 7 witnesses. All of them gave statements. All of them say you never pulled over. You drove straight home. The police came to your house 3 hours later. Do you remember that? Victoria sighs. Dramatic. Yes, I remember. They showed up right in the middle of my luncheon. It was so embarrassing. All my friends were there. Can you imagine? Police at the governor's mansion. What I'm trying to imagine, Judge Caprio says, is why you didn't stop to help Mrs. Cooper. Why you didn't call 911. Why you left her bleeding in her car at a busy intersection. Your Honor, I told you. I had somewhere to be. Besides, there were other people there. Someone else could call. I didn't need to. A woman in the 3rd row gasps. A man shakes his head. The court reporter's fingers freeze above her keyboard for just a second. Mrs. Eastland, Judge Caprio says. Do you understand that leaving the scene of an accident is a crime? Victoria leans forward. Your Honor, I don't think you understand who I am. My husband is the governor of this state. We donate millions to charity every year. I chair 5 different boards. I'm on the Hospital Foundation Committee. I think we can all agree this is being blown out of proportion. Your position and your donations, the judge says, have nothing to do with what happened on January 15th. Actually, Victoria says, I think they have everything to do with it. This court runs on state funding, doesn't it? My husband approves that funding. The room goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. Gerald Prescott, Victoria's lawyer, closes his eyes. He looks like he wants to sink into the floor. Judge Caprio puts his pen down. He folds his hands. Mrs. Eastland, I'm going to give you a chance to rethink what you just said. Why? It's true. You're suggesting that your husband's position gives you immunity from the law. I'm suggesting that this is a waste of everyone's time. I have things to do. Important things. Can we just settle this so I can leave? Settle this how? Victoria opens her designer bag. She pulls out a checkbook. Actual paper checks. The kind barely anyone uses anymore. How much? What's it going to take? 5,000? 10,000? Just tell me the number. The gallery erupts. People are talking over each other. The bailiff stands up. Order. Order in the court. Judge Caprio bangs his gavel. Once. Twice. The room quiets down. Mrs. Eastland, the judge says. His voice is very calm now. Dangerously calm. You just attempted to bribe a sitting judge in open court. Do you understand that? Victoria blinks. For the first time, she looks uncertain. That's not what I was doing. I was just trying to pay my fine. There's no fine to pay yet. We haven't even heard the evidence. But you pulled out a checkbook and asked me to name a price. That's a bribe. It's a donation, Victoria corrects, to the court, or to a charity of your choice. I'm trying to be helpful. Gerald Prescott finally speaks. Your Honor, may I have a moment with my client? No, Victoria snaps at her own lawyer. You're fired. You're not doing anything anyway. Gerald looks at the judge. The judge nods. Gerald packs up his briefcase. He walks out. He doesn't look back. Now Victoria is alone at the defense table. She crosses her arms. Fine. I'll represent myself. I've seen enough law and order. How hard can it be? A few people in the gallery laugh. Not with her. At her. Judge Caprio opens the case file. Let's hear from Officer Michael Santos. He was first on the scene. A police officer stands up from the front row. He's in full uniform. He walks to the witness stand. Officer Santos, Judge Caprio says, please tell us what you found when you arrived at the scene. Officer Santos pulls out a small notebook. I received the call at 2:07 p.m. Dispatch said there was a hit-and-run accident at Benefit and Waterman. I arrived at 2:14 p.m. When I got there, the victim, Janet Cooper, was still in her vehicle. The driver's side was crushed. Her door wouldn't open. Bystanders had called 911. An ambulance arrived about 2 minutes after I did. What was Mrs. Cooper's condition? She was conscious but disoriented. Blood was running down her face from a cut on her forehead. Her left arm was bent at an unnatural angle. She was crying. She kept asking why the other driver left. She couldn't understand it. Victoria rolls her eyes. Oh, please. So dramatic. Judge Caprio looks at her. Mrs. Eastland, you will not speak unless I ask you a question. Do you understand? This is ridiculous. Do you understand? Victoria crosses her arms tighter. Fine. Yes. Whatever. Officer Santos continues. I took statements from 7 witnesses. All of them described the same thing. A white Mercedes SUV ran the red light at high speed. They estimated between 45 and 50 miles per hour in a zone posted for 25. The Mercedes struck Mrs. Cooper's Toyota Camry on the driver's side. The impact spun the Camry 180 degrees. The Mercedes stopped for approximately 10 seconds. The driver, a blonde woman in a white suit, got out. She looked at her car. Not at Mrs. Cooper's car. Her own car. She took a picture of the damage with her phone. Then she got back in and drove away. East on Benefit Street. Did anyone get the license plate? Yes, Your Honor. 3 different witnesses wrote it down. All 3 matched. Rhode Island plate GVR 001. Judge Caprio looks at Victoria. That's your license plate, isn't it? It's a vanity plate, Victoria says. GVR for governor. It was a gift when my husband was elected. So you admit you were driving that vehicle? I was driving my car, yes. But everything else is exaggerated. Officer Santos pulls out his phone. Your Honor, I have body camera footage from the scene. May I play it? Please do. Officer Santos connects his phone to the courtroom's display system. A large screen on the wall lights up. The video starts. You can see the intersection. Mrs. Cooper's Camry is totaled. The entire driver's side is caved in. Glass covers the street. Metal is twisted like paper. Airbags hang out of the windows like deflated balloons. The camera moves closer. You can see Mrs. Cooper through the windshield. Her face is pale. Blood drips from her forehead. Her arm hangs at a wrong angle. She's trying not to cry, but tears run down her face anyway. Ma'am, Officer Santos's voice says on the video. Can you hear me? Mrs. Cooper nods. Help is coming. Can you tell me what happened? She just hit me, Mrs. Cooper says. Her voice shakes. I had the green light. I was just driving through the intersection. She came out of nowhere. So fast. And then after she hit me, she just left. She looked right at me, and she left. The video shows a witness approaching. A young man in his 20s. Officer, I saw the whole thing. That lady in the Mercedes was on her phone. She wasn't even looking at the road. She blew right through the red light. Didn't even slow down. Another witness appears. An older woman. I tried to get her to stop. I ran toward her car. But she just drove away. She looked annoyed. Like we were bothering her. The video ends. The screen goes dark. The courtroom is silent. Several people are crying. A man in the back row has his hand over his mouth. Victoria looks at her phone. She's scrolling through Instagram. Like the video didn't matter. Judge Caprio stares at her. Mrs. Eastland, did you watch that video? I saw it. And what do you have to say? Victoria looks up. I already told you. The light was yellow. She probably could have stopped. And I didn't leave. I pulled over. 7 witnesses say you left. 7 witnesses are wrong. All of them. All of them. Judge Caprio takes a deep breath. Let's talk about what happened after the accident. Officer Santos, what happened when you went to Mrs. Eastland's home? Officer Santos flips a page in his notebook. I arrived at the governor's residence at 5:30 p.m. That's 3.5 hours after the accident. I rang the bell. A housekeeper answered. I asked to speak with Mrs. Eastland. The housekeeper said she was hosting a luncheon and couldn't be disturbed. I explained that it was about a hit-and-run accident. The housekeeper went inside. 5 minutes later, Mrs. Eastland came to the door. What was her demeanor? Hostile. She was holding a glass of wine. She asked why I was interrupting her party. I explained that her vehicle had been identified in a hit-and-run accident. She said that was impossible because her car was fine. I asked if I could see the vehicle. She refused. I explained that I could get a warrant. She said, and I quote, "Go ahead and try. My husband will have your badge before you get back to your car." People in the gallery gasp. Someone says, "No way." Another person says, "She did not say that." Victoria shrugs. I was having a bad day. You were having a bad day, Judge Caprio repeats. Mrs. Cooper was having a worse day. She was in the hospital. But you were having a bad day. I didn't ask her to be in the hospital. You put her there. That's debatable. Judge Caprio's eyes narrow. Officer Santos, did you eventually see the vehicle? Yes, Your Honor. I returned with a warrant at 7 p.m. The Mercedes was in the garage. The front passenger side had significant damage. The headlight was broken. The fender was dented. The side mirror was missing. Paint from Mrs. Cooper's Camry was embedded in the damage. Blue paint. Mrs. Cooper drives a blue Camry. Did Mrs. Eastland say anything when you saw the damage? She said it must have happened in the grocery store parking lot earlier that week. But you just showed her video footage of the accident. She claimed the video was unclear. Victoria nods. It was unclear. Could have been anyone's Mercedes. With your license plate. Someone could have stolen my plates. While you were driving the car. It's possible. Judge Caprio closes his eyes for a moment. He looks like he's counting to 10. Mrs. Eastland, you're not helping yourself here. I'm telling the truth. Let's talk about something else then. Officer Santos, you mentioned phone records. What did you find? Officer Santos pulls out another document. We subpoenaed Mrs. Eastland's phone records. At the time of the accident, 2:03 p.m., she was on a phone call. The call lasted 14 minutes. From 1:58 p.m. to 2:12 p.m. She was talking to someone during the accident, and for 10 minutes after. Who was she talking to? Her personal assistant, making arrangements for the luncheon. Judge Caprio looks at Victoria. You were on the phone. Hands free, Victoria says quickly. I have Bluetooth. You told the officer you weren't on your phone. I meant I wasn't holding it. Bluetooth is legal. Being on the phone, hands-free or not, is cited as a contributing factor in your distraction. You ran a red light while talking. The light was yellow. We have traffic camera footage that shows the light was red for 3 full seconds before you entered the intersection. Traffic cameras malfunction all the time. This one didn't. Victoria stands up. Your Honor, this is harassment. I came here to cooperate and you're treating me like a criminal. You are accused of criminal acts. Accused, not guilty. There's a difference. Then let's examine the evidence and determine guilt or innocence. Victoria picks up her phone. You know what? I'm done with this. I'm going to call my husband. Judge Caprio's eyebrows rise. Excuse me. I'm calling Governor Eastland. He'll straighten this out. Mrs. Eastland, you're in the middle of a court hearing. And I'm about to end it. She dials. The phone rings. It's on speaker. Everyone in the courtroom can hear it. 1 ring. 2 rings. 3 rings. A man's voice answers. Victoria, is everything okay? Richard, thank God. I'm in court right now. This judge is being completely unreasonable about that little car thing. Can you please explain to him that this is ridiculous? There's silence on the other end. Then, Victoria, what are you doing? I'm calling you to fix this. Isn't that what you do? More silence. Victoria, you called me during a court hearing? Yes. We're all here. The judge, some police officer, a bunch of random people. Say hi to Judge Caprio. Judge Caprio leans toward the phone. His voice is very calm. Governor Eastland, this is Judge Frank Caprio. I apologize for this interruption. Your wife called you without permission from the court. The governor's voice sounds strained. Judge Caprio, I apologize. Victoria, what exactly are you doing? I'm trying to get you to fix this. Tell the judge to drop the charges. Victoria. Richard, I'm your wife. The First Lady of Rhode Island. This is embarrassing. Just tell him. Judge Caprio speaks again. Governor, since your wife has put you on speaker in open court, I want to make something clear. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm not expecting you to do anything. This call was your wife's idea, not mine. Do you understand? I understand completely, Your Honor. And I want to state on the record that I have no intention of interfering with your court. Not now, not ever. Victoria, you need to hang up and face whatever charges you're dealing with. I can't help you. Victoria's face goes red. What do you mean you can't help me? I mean exactly that. You're on your own. If you did what they say you did, you need to take responsibility. Richard. Victoria, I have to go. I'm in a budget meeting. Don't call me again during court. The line goes dead. Victoria stares at her phone. Her mouth opens, then closes, then opens again. He hung up on me. Yes, Judge Caprio says. He did. He can't hang up on me. I'm his wife. He can. And he just did. Victoria slams her phone on the table. This is unbelievable. Do you know how much money we've given to this state? How many programs we fund? How many jobs my husband has created? That has nothing to do with this case. It has everything to do with this case. You work for us. All of you. The courts, the police, everyone. You work for the government, and my husband is the government. The courtroom explodes. People are yelling. The bailiff stands up. Order. Everyone sit down. Judge Caprio bangs his gavel. Hard. 3 times. Mrs. Eastland, you will sit down and be quiet. No, I won't. This is insane. I'm not staying here to be lectured by someone who probably makes $60,000 a year. Do you know what my shoes cost? More than your car. A man in the gallery stands up. Your Honor, I can't listen to this anymore. This woman is disgusting. Sir, please sit down, Judge Caprio says. How can you sit there and listen to her? She hurt someone and she doesn't even care. Victoria spins around to face him. Who are you? Nobody. You're nobody. None of you matter. You're all just extras in my life. The man's face goes red. The bailiff moves toward him, but he sits down. His hands are shaking with anger. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through the chaos. Mrs. Eastland, sit down. Now. Something in his voice makes Victoria stop. She looks at him. Really looks at him. For the first time, she seems to see him as a real person. She sits. Slowly. Thank you, Judge Caprio says. Now, I'm going to show you something. Bailiff, please bring in Mrs. Cooper. Victoria's head snaps up. What? Why is she here? Because I asked her to be here. The courtroom doors open. Janet Cooper walks in. She's 53 years old. Her left arm is in a cast. It's covered with signatures. Get well soon messages from students. There's a purple bruise on her forehead. Still healing. She walks with a slight limp. Each step looks painful. She makes her way to the witness stand. It takes a long time. Victoria watches her. For a moment, just a moment, something flickers in Victoria's eyes. Guilt. Awareness. It's hard to tell. Then it's gone. Mrs. Cooper is sworn in. She sits carefully. Like everything hurts. Mrs. Cooper, Judge Caprio says gently. Thank you for coming today. I know this isn't easy. Can you tell us how you're doing? Mrs. Cooper's voice is soft. I'm getting better. The doctors say I'll heal. But it's been hard. Can you tell the court about your injuries? My left arm was broken in 3 places. I had surgery. They put pins in. The cast comes off in 6 more weeks. Then I'll need physical therapy. I had a concussion. I still get headaches. Really bad ones. I can't drive yet. The anxiety is too much. Every time I think about getting in a car, I panic. How has this affected your life? Mrs. Cooper's eyes fill with tears. I'm a high school English teacher. I love my job. I love my students. But I had to take a leave of absence. I can't write on the board with my left hand, and my right hand isn't good enough yet. I can't carry books. I can't do my job. And I don't get paid for leave. So I'm not getting a paycheck. Do you have family helping you? I'm divorced. I live alone. My daughter is in college in Boston. She came home for 2 weeks to help, but she had to go back for her classes. I've been trying to manage on my own. Who's been helping you? My neighbors have been amazing. They bring me groceries. They drive me to doctor's appointments. But I hate asking for help. I've always been independent. Now I can't even open a jar by myself. Victoria is looking at her nails again, examining the polish. Like Mrs. Cooper's words are boring. Judge Caprio sees this. Mrs. Eastland, are you listening? I'm listening. Look at Mrs. Cooper when she speaks. Victoria sighs. She looks up. She stares at Mrs. Cooper with dead eyes. Mrs. Cooper continues. The worst part isn't the pain. It's the why. I keep thinking, why did she leave? Did she not see me? Did she not care? I was right there, bleeding, crying, and she just drove away, like I was nothing. Did you see her face? Yes. For just a second, our eyes met. She looked annoyed, not scared, not sorry, annoyed, like I had inconvenienced her. Mrs. Cooper's voice breaks. I'm a human being. I have students who depend on me. I have a daughter who loves me. I have a life that matters. But in that moment, I didn't matter to her at all. The courtroom is silent. Several people are crying openly now. Even the court reporter has tears in her eyes. Victoria leans back in her chair. Are we done with the sob story? The silence that follows is deafening. Mrs. Cooper stares at Victoria. Sob story? You broke my arm. You gave me a concussion. You destroyed my car. You took away my ability to work. You left me bleeding and terrified. And you call it a sob story. I call it an accident. Accidents happen. Accidents happen when you take responsibility. What you did was a hit and run. You ran away. Like a coward. Victoria stands up. How dare you call me a coward? Do you know who I am? Mrs. Cooper stands up too. Her legs shake, but she stands. I know exactly who you are. You're someone who thinks money and power make you special. But they don't. They just make you rich. Being rich doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you important. And it definitely doesn't make you above the law. Sit down, both of you, Judge Caprio says. But there's respect in his voice when he looks at Mrs. Cooper. Mrs. Cooper sits. Victoria sits. They stare at each other across the courtroom. Judge Caprio looks at Victoria. Mrs. Eastland, do you have anything to say to Mrs. Cooper? Victoria's jaw clenches. No. No apology. For what? An accident. For leaving her there. Someone else helped her. She's fine. She's not fine. You heard her testimony. She'll heal. That's all you have to say. Victoria crosses her arms. That's all I have to say. Judge Caprio nods slowly. Okay, then let me say something. Mrs. Eastland, in my 40 years on the bench, I've seen a lot of people. Rich people, poor people, good people, bad people, people who made mistakes, and people who made choices. You made a choice. You chose to run that red light. You chose to hit Mrs. Cooper. You chose to leave her there. And now you're choosing not to take responsibility. I don't have to take responsibility for an accident. Yes, you do. That's what adults do. That's what decent human beings do. You're 29 years old. You're old enough to understand consequences. But you act like consequences don't apply to you. They shouldn't. Not for something like this. Why not? Because I'm important. Because I have places to be. Because people depend on me. People depend on Mrs. Cooper too. But you didn't think about that when you drove away. I didn't have time to think about it. You had 3.5 hours before the police came. You had time. Victoria leans forward. Her eyes narrow. You want to know the truth, Judge? Fine. Here's the truth. I didn't stop because I didn't want to deal with it. I had a luncheon to host. Important people were coming. Donors. Political allies. People my husband needs. I couldn't show up late covered in someone else's problems. So yes, I left. And I do it again. Because my time, my responsibilities, my life is more important than some random teacher's fender bender. The courtroom erupts. People are screaming. The bailiff blows his whistle. Judge Caprio's gavel sounds like thunder. "Everyone be quiet," the judge shouts. "Right now." The room settles, but the anger hangs in the air like smoke. Judge Caprio looks at Victoria. His face is hard. "Mrs. Eastland, what you just said is the most callous, cruel, self-centered statement I've ever heard in this courtroom. And I've heard a lot." Victoria shrugs. "It's the truth. You wanted honesty. There it is. That statement right there just sealed your fate." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I've heard enough. Sit down and listen very carefully to what I'm about to say." Victoria sits. For the first time, there's fear in her eyes. Just a flicker. But it's there. Judge Caprio opens his file. He reads for a moment. Then he looks up. "Victoria and Eastland, you stand before this court charged with reckless driving, leaving the scene of an accident with injuries, and failure to render aid. After hearing testimony, reviewing evidence, and listening to your own words, I find you guilty on all counts." Victoria gasps. "What? No, you can't." "I can, and I just did. I want a lawyer. I want a real trial. I want a jury." "You had a lawyer. You fired him. You chose to represent yourself. You chose to speak. And everything you said proved your guilt beyond any doubt. This isn't fair." "Fair? Let's talk about fair. Is it fair that Mrs. Cooper is out of work? Is it fair that she's in pain every single day? Is it fair that she has medical bills she can't pay? Is it fair that she's afraid to drive? You want to talk about fair." Victoria's hands shake. "I want to appeal." "You can appeal. That's your right. But right now, in this moment, I'm going to tell you your sentence. And I want you to listen very carefully." The courtroom goes completely silent. Everyone leans forward. Judge Caprio continues. "First, financial penalties. You are ordered to pay $25,000 in fines to the state of Rhode Island. You'll also pay full restitution to Janet Cooper for all medical expenses, lost wages, and vehicle replacement. The current total is $87,500. If additional medical costs arise, you will pay those too." Victoria barely reacts. Money doesn't scare her. She has plenty of money. "Second, your driver's license is suspended for 1 year. You cannot drive. You cannot get behind the wheel of any vehicle. If you do, you'll be arrested immediately." Victoria's eyes widen. "A year? How am I supposed to get anywhere?" "The same way Mrs. Cooper gets around now. You'll ask for rides. You'll take taxis. You'll walk. You'll figure it out." "This is ridiculous." "Third, community service. 250 hours. "Fine. I'll write a check to a charity." "No, you misunderstand. This isn't a donation. This is actual service. Physical work. You will report to Hope High School, where Mrs. Cooper teaches. You will work as a teacher's aide. You will carry books for teachers. You will help students. You will clean classrooms. You will do whatever the school needs. And you will do it under Mrs. Cooper's direct supervision." The color drains from Victoria's face. "You're making me work for her." "I'm making you understand what it means to serve others. Mrs. Cooper dedicates her life to helping students. You're going to see what that looks like. Every Tuesday and Thursday for the next 6 months. 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. You'll wear the same vest every community service worker wears. Bright orange, with community service written on the back. I can't do that. I have commitments. Board meetings. Charity events. Then reschedule them. This takes priority. If you miss even 1 day, you'll be held in contempt and you'll spend 30 days in jail." "Jail." Victoria's voice cracks. "You can't put me in jail." "I can if you violate the terms of your sentence. But I'm the First Lady. Not in my courtroom, you're not. In here, you're just another person who broke the law. And in Rhode Island, everyone is equal under the law, including you." Victoria starts crying. Real tears now. Not angry tears. Scared tears. "Please, Your Honor, please. I'll do anything else. Anything. Just not this. You'll do exactly this. And there's more. More. Fourth, you will write a personal, handwritten apology to Mrs. Cooper. Not typed. Handwritten. 500 words minimum. You will give it to her in person at the school, in front of her students. You will read out loud. You will mean every word. I can't do that. You will do that, or you'll go to jail. This is humiliating. Good. Humiliation builds character. You need some character built. I have character. No, Mrs. Eastland. You have money. You have connections. You have designer clothes and expensive jewelry. But you don't have character. Character is what you show when no one's watching. Character is stopping to help someone you hurt. Character is taking responsibility. You have shown zero character in this courtroom today. Victoria puts her face in her hands. Her shoulders shake. She's sobbing now. Loud, ugly sobs. Fifth, Judge Caprio continues, you are on probation for 2 years. You will report to a probation officer once a month. You will submit to random drug and alcohol testing. You will attend a victim impact panel where you will hear from other people hurt by reckless drivers. You will complete an empathy training program. And you will not, under any circumstances, attempt to use your position or your husband's position to avoid any part of this sentence. If you do, I'll add contempt of court charges, and you'll spend 60 days in jail. Do you understand? Victoria nods. She can't speak. She just nods. I need to hear you say it. I understand, Victoria whispers. Louder. I understand. Victoria shouts through her tears. Good. Sixth and finally, you are being charged with contempt of court for your behavior during this hearing. You were disrespectful. You attempted to bribe me. You called your husband in the middle of a trial. You insulted witnesses. You showed no remorse. For contempt of court, you will serve 15 days in the county jail. You'll start today. Victoria's head snaps up. Today. Right now. Right now. Bailiff. The bailiff walks over to Victoria. He pulls out handcuffs. No. No, no, no. Victoria backs away. You can't arrest me. I'm the governor's wife. Actually, the bailiff says, I can. And I am. He takes her wrist. She tries to pull away. But he's stronger. The handcuff clicks shut. Then the other one. Victoria's hands are cuffed behind her back. This isn't happening, Victoria says. She looks around wildly. Someone help me. Call my husband. Call my lawyer. Someone. No one moves. No one helps her. The bailiff leads her toward the side door. The one that goes to the holding cells. Victoria's heels drag on the floor. She's resisting, but it doesn't matter. As she passes Mrs. Cooper, Victoria stops. Just for a second. She looks at the teacher. Mrs. Cooper looks back. There's no anger in Mrs. Cooper's eyes. Just sadness. I hope you learned something from this, Mrs. Cooper says quietly. Victoria doesn't respond. The bailiff pulls her through the door. It slams shut behind them. The courtroom sits in stunned silence for 10 seconds. Then someone starts clapping. Then someone else. Then everyone. The entire gallery stands up and applauds. They're clapping for the judge. For Mrs. Cooper. For justice. Judge Caprio bangs his gavel. Order, please. This isn't a show. But there's a small smile on his face. Just a small one. Mrs. Cooper sits down. She's crying. But these are different tears. Relief tears. Justice tears. The local news picks up the story that night. The video of Victoria being led away in handcuffs goes viral. Within 24 hours, it has 15 million views. Within a week, 50 million. Everyone is talking about it. Social media explodes. Some people defend Victoria. They say the judge was too harsh. They say she was made an example because of who her husband is. But most people disagree. Most people think she got exactly what she deserved. Governor Richard Eastland makes a statement. My wife's actions were her own. I do not condone them. I support the court's decision. Justice must be equal for everyone. He doesn't visit her in jail. Not once during those 15 days. 8 weeks later, Victoria returns to court. It's a review hearing. Judge Caprio wants to check her progress. Victoria looks completely different. Her hair is in a simple ponytail. No fancy updo. She wears jeans and a plain t-shirt. Sneakers instead of heels. No jewelry except a simple watch. No designer bag. Just a backpack. She stands before the judge. She looks nervous. Mrs. Eastland, Judge Caprio says, "How has your community service been going?" Victoria takes a deep breath. "It's been hard, Your Honor. Really hard. But also good. I've learned a lot." "Tell me about it." "The first day was the worst. I showed up at Hope High School in the orange vest. Kids stared at me. Teachers whispered. Everyone knew who I was. Everyone had seen the video. I wanted to run away. But Mrs. Cooper met me at the door. She didn't yell. She didn't gloat. She just said, 'Thank you for coming. Let me show you what we need.'" Victoria's voice shakes a little. "She had me help in her classroom. I carried books. I passed out papers. I helped students with their essays. And you know what? Those kids are amazing. They work so hard. Some of them have jobs after school. Some of them are raising their younger siblings. Some of them walk 2 miles to school because they can't afford the bus. But they show up every day. They try their best. And I never knew. I never cared to know. What else? Judge Caprio asks. I met a girl named Maria. She's 16. Her mom works 3 jobs. Maria wants to be a nurse. She studies in the library until 9 p.m. every night because her apartment is too loud. She has a 4.0 GPA. She's everything I'm not. She's hardworking. She's humble. She's kind. I helped her with her college essay. She got into Providence College with a full scholarship. When she found out, she hugged me. She actually hugged me. And I cried. I cried because I realized I've never worked that hard for anything in my entire life. Everything was just given to me. Mrs. Cooper is sitting in the front row. She's smiling. Victoria continues. Mrs. Cooper could have made my life miserable. She had every right to, but she didn't. She treated me with respect. She showed me patience. She taught me what it means to actually care about other people. Not because you have to, not because it looks good, but because it's the right thing to do. Have you completed your hours? Yes, Your Honor. All 250 hours. But I'm going to keep going. Mrs. Cooper said I can keep volunteering if I want. And I want to. I'm going to help tutor students twice a week, even after my sentence is done. Judge Caprio nods. What about the apology? Victoria reaches into her backpack. She pulls out a piece of paper. It's wrinkled, like it's been read many times. I wrote it. I read it to Mrs. Cooper in front of her class. I meant every word, but I'd like to read it again, if that's okay. Go ahead. Victoria unfolds the paper. Her hands shake. She reads, Dear Mrs. Cooper, I am sorry. Those words aren't enough. They can never be enough. But they're all I have. I'm sorry for hitting your car. I'm sorry for breaking your arm. I'm sorry for giving you a concussion. I'm sorry for driving away. I'm sorry for leaving you alone and scared and bleeding. I'm sorry for thinking my time was more important than your life. I was wrong. I was selfish. I was cruel. There's no excuse for what I did. None. You didn't deserve any of it. You're a good person. You help people every single day. You change lives. You make the world better. And I tried to destroy you over a luncheon. A stupid, meaningless luncheon with people who don't really matter. You matter. Your students matter. And I'm sorry I didn't see that before. I see it now. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to be better. Trying to be more like you. You showed me grace I didn't deserve. You gave me a second chance I didn't earn. Thank you. I hope someday I can truly make this right. I'm sorry. Victoria Eastland. The courtroom is quiet. Victoria folds the paper. She puts it back in her backpack. Mrs. Cooper, Judge Caprio says, Do you accept her apology? Mrs. Cooper stands. She walks to where Victoria is standing. They face each other. 2 women. One hurt. One sorry. I accept, Mrs. Cooper says. And I forgive you. Victoria starts crying. Mrs. Cooper pulls her into a hug. Victoria hugs her back. They stand there for a long moment. 2 enemies who became something else. Not friends exactly, but something. When they let go, Judge Caprio speaks. Mrs. Eastland, you've completed all requirements of your sentence. You've shown genuine remorse. You've made real changes. I'm releasing you from probation early. Your license will be reinstated in 6 months instead of a year. You're free to go. Victoria looks shocked. Really? Really? Don't make me regret it. I won't, Your Honor. I promise. One more thing. What are you going to do now? Victoria thinks for a moment. I'm going to keep volunteering. I'm going to use my position for good. Real good. Not just writing checks and attending galas. I'm going to show up. I'm going to help. I'm going to remember what you taught me. And what did I teach you? That no one is above the law. That privilege is a responsibility, not a right. That other people matter. That consequences are real. That you can always change. That it's never too late to be better. Judge Caprio smiles. A real smile this time. Good. Now get out of my courtroom. And don't come back. Victoria smiles too. Yes, Your Honor. She turns to leave. Then she stops. She looks back at Mrs. Cooper. Thank you, she says, for everything. Mrs. Cooper nods. You're welcome. Victoria walks out. Her head is high, but it's different now. Not arrogant. Confident. Like someone who's learned something real. 6 months after that, Hope High School announces a new scholarship fund. It's called the Victoria Eastland Scholarship. It's funded entirely by Victoria Eastland. It gives $50,000 a year to students who want to become teachers. Students like the ones Mrs. Cooper taught. Students like Maria. Victoria attends the announcement ceremony. She stands next to Mrs. Cooper. They shake hands for the cameras. But when the cameras leave, they hug. Like real friends this time. The viral video of Victoria in handcuffs is still online. It has 100 million views now. People use it in college classes to talk about privilege. They use it in law schools to talk about justice. They use it in high schools to talk about consequences. But there's another video now. It's Victoria reading her apology. That video has 80 million views. People watch it and cry. They comment things like, "This is real change, and everyone deserves a second chance, and this is what redemption looks like." Judge Frank Caprio sits in his chambers one evening. He's reviewing new cases. There's always another case. Always another person who needs justice. Or mercy. Or both. He thinks about Victoria Eastland. He thinks about how she stood in his courtroom with handcuffs on her wrists. He thinks about how she looked 8 weeks later. Humble. Changed. Real. He doesn't know if the change will last. He hopes it will. But he's been a judge long enough to know that hope isn't the same as certainty. Some people change. Some people don't. Time will tell which one Victoria is. But today, in this moment, he believes she's trying. And trying counts for something. It counts for a lot. He closes the file. He turns off the lamp on his desk. He walks out of the courthouse into the Providence evening. The sun is setting. The sky is orange and pink and beautiful. Tomorrow there will be more cases. More people. More chances to balance justice and mercy. More opportunities to remind people that the law applies to everyone. Rich or poor. Powerful or powerless. Famous or unknown. Because that's what the law is. It's not about money. It's not about power. It's not about who you know or who you're married to. It's about right and wrong. It's about consequences. It's about learning. It's about changing. It's about being better today than you were yesterday. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, everyone gets the same chance to learn that lesson. Everyone. Even governors' wives. The story of Victoria Eastland teaches us something important. It teaches us that privilege doesn't protect you from consequences. It teaches us that money can't buy character. It teaches us that real change is possible, but it's hard. It requires humility. It requires work. It requires facing the people you've hurt and genuinely trying to make it right. It also teaches us about grace. Mrs. Cooper could have demanded the maximum punishment. She could have been cruel back. But she wasn't. She showed Victoria what real strength looks like. She showed her that being the bigger person isn't about being weak. It's about being strong enough to forgive. And maybe that's the most important lesson. Justice isn't just about punishment. It's also about restoration. It's about making things right. It's about giving people the chance to be better. Not excusing what they did, but allowing them the space to grow. Victoria Eastland hurt someone. She broke the law. She showed terrible judgment and worse character. But she also accepted her punishment. She did the work. She changed. And that change rippled out. It created a scholarship fund. It helped students. It made the world a little bit better. That's what justice should do. It should punish wrongdoing. But it should also open the door to redemption. And when someone walks through that door, when they do the hard work of becoming better, we should acknowledge it. We should encourage it. We should believe in it. Because if we don't believe people can change, what's the point? If we don't offer second chances, how can anyone recover from their mistakes? Judge Caprio understood this. He gave Victoria the harshest sentence he could. He made her face real consequences. But he also gave her the tools to change. And when she did, he recognized it. He rewarded it. He shortened her probation because she earned it. That's wisdom. That's justice. That's mercy working together. And that's what makes Judge Caprio's courtroom special. It's not just about following the law. It's about understanding people. It's about seeing potential even in the worst behavior. It's about believing that everyone, no matter who they are or what they've done, deserves the chance to be better. Victoria Eastland got that chance. She took it. She ran with it. And now she's using her second chance to help others. That's the kind of justice that changes the world. Not just punishing the guilty, but transforming them into forces for good. Money can buy many things. It can buy cars and clothes and houses and trips. It can buy comfort and convenience and luxury. but it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. It cannot create character. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Justice is earned through honesty, through accountability, through change, through work, through humility. Victoria Eastland learned that lesson the hard way, the painful way, the only way that really teaches. And maybe, just maybe, her story will teach others too. Teach them that privilege is temporary, that consequences are real, that other people matter, that you're never too rich or too important to be held accountable. Teach them that justice, real justice, is blind. It doesn't see your bank account. It doesn't see your connections. It doesn't see your last name. It only sees your actions. And your actions define who you are. Choose wisely.